Taurus, this is your November 2016 reading. It includes both your love as well as your general forecast, and this month I am telling you a story. It's your story for November. The first card that comes up says that play is important this month. It comes up right through your reading, so I think it's very important. Now, play is not a luxury, it's a necessity. This card says get that childlike spirit out again and play to your heart's content. Whenever you get the opportunity, play this month. So the universe is going to back you with this. It's going to give you the opportunities. You must grab them when they come up, and I have no doubt that you will. Because the next card comes up again of childlike innocence. And this says you want that childlike innocence again. You want to enjoy life like you did when you were a child. And it says you are going to summon the courage to deal with whatever it is that's stopping you from feeling this childlike joy in life. It has to do with old family issues, perhaps from when you were a child, or things you don't even remember, but it's made these relationship patterns or patterns in your relationships that you find are probably unhealthy and definitely not happy, and you now find the courage to finally look this in the eye and deal with it. And in so doing, you can rekindle that childlike innocence and happiness again. Now, the next card says that this has been a long-standing issue. And at the root of it is the fact that you haven't been honest with yourself, and you're now going to square up to that. You're going to look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to say, I have not been honest with myself. And in so doing, I have probably treated the people around me and myself with less respect and less love than they should have, and less kindness. So this isn't an easy thing to do, and it does take courage, but you're going to do it. And whatever it is you haven't been honest about, you're finally going to be honest about it. You're going to deal with it. The next thing that happens is somebody arrives on your doorstep, or some kind of information arrives on your doorstep. It's very quick, it's out of the blue, but it's good. Because it brings out that playfulness. Once again, we get the playfulness coming out. In other words, you feel this is joyful knowledge. This makes you feel happier. It makes you feel lighthearted. And possibly once you were honest with yourself as well, that opened this door. It opened this channel, and something good came of it. Now you feel you can express your love more easily, and you do so. You express it to those that you love. Those of you looking for partnerships and relationships find it easier to show that side of yourself. And in general, that light-hearted feeling comes back into life. So the next card then says you get elevated to a new level. You feel this lighter, more uplifted feeling. But then, the universe is saying to you, there's something you haven't dealt with yet. It's going to send you a message. It's going to send you a sign. It's going to be subtle, but it's going to be there. You're not going to be able to miss it, which is going to say to you, yes, you have now been honest with yourself, but that's not all, is it? There's more to the story than just being honest with yourself. And that pay attention to red flags is possibly the people you meet now on a romantic level, or your partners, or your spouse, or your lover, is going to be the one that shows you that there's more to the story, that you haven't dealt with everything. And that's what that red flag is going to be. It's going to be different for each of you. It'll play out differently in your own personal story. But it is actually the universe saying to you, you need to look deeper. Perhaps you've been honest now, but that's not the whole story, is it? Now you find yourself, once you've received this message and you've acknowledged it, moving out of that period of dark, stormy cloudiness that you were having in your partnerships and relationships, and you whip things into shape. You finally decide you are worth it. You restore your self-worth. You realize perhaps things you've done, said, the way you've behaved in the last few years, I think, it doesn't suit you on all levels. You haven't been kind to people. They haven't been kind to you. On some level, this isn't in all levels of life, but in some level of life, and it probably has to do with relationships, you've realized this hasn't been healthy. It's not the way you want it to be. It's not good for your self-respect. And there's something to do with a past life relationship here. So for some of you, there's somebody coming into your life that's a past life relationship. There's an unresolved story here, a story that's not finished, and the two of you need to finish up that story. For others of you, you are involved with this person that's a past life relationship. In other words, you've carried baggage from past lives, and that's actually what you are dealing with here now. But you now are clear on what it is that you want from your life. You are clear on what it is you don't want to do, don't want to behave, and don't want to see happening in your life. What happens next? Well, that is in December by the looks of things. So we'll have to look into the December forecast to see how this story plays out. Your guidance cards say that it's better to be hated for what you are than loved for what you are not, for something you're pretending to be. And I think this goes back to that deceit, to that dishonesty that you are having. You are pretending to somebody, perhaps that you love them and that you don't love them any longer. Perhaps that's the problem. I think it's going to be different or slightly different for all of you. That next card says, take note of the messages in whispers and secrets adrift on the breeze. So there's definitely layers in this story, levels in this story. And the universe is finally, God's Spirit is finally saying to you, Taurus, these are the messages, here are the indications, it's time this came out. It's time you cleared this up, it's time you resolved it. Because that last question in the guidance card says, you're perhaps asking, why is my life going like this? Why is this happening to me? And the question's not being answered because you're not asking the right question. You're not asking the right question. The question is probably, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I sticking to this story? Why have I not been honest with myself and the people around me as to how I genuinely feel? And then the final card says to maintain your childlike spirit. So regardless of the possibly slightly serious aspect of your story this month, play through the story. Work through the story as if you have no baggage, as if you're an innocent child moving through this for the first time. Base your decisions, base your actions, and base your words from that place. Guilt can make us say and do things that are just so, shall we say, they don't resolve issues. So rid yourself of the baggage and the guilt, know what you've got to do, and from a childlike point of view and wisdom of spirit, shall we say, act from there. So Taurus, that is your November reading. If you would like a personal or private reading so we can see how this story works out, especially in your particular case, because it's going to be specific to each Taurus person, you can contact me at theoracletimes@gmail.com, or you can book a reading via the website. Both URLs are showing up now on the owl picture, or if you've got your own tarot deck, select your cards, and for a tiny fee I'll read them for you. That's great fun. I'm doing quite a lot of those and they are really enjoyable. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for watching and listening.